It is done. So he said, or is it? On this day, the Christian faith over 2,000 years ago, Christ was put on the cross for close to 12 hours, suffered a gruesome death for mankind. And on that day, slightly less than an hour ago, clouds brooded, the world went dark. And when he gave up his soul, he said, it is done. The curtain in the holiest of holies parted from top to bottom. The ground shook and the graves opened up. That was Jesus Christ on Good Friday, giving up his life so all could be saved. If two teams need saving, well, they're here tonight. Soltilo Bright Stars with Asap Mwebaze having Hassan Matovu returning to that starting lineup after his red card, but will not have Fiat Cleophas to join in the festivities for Good Friday.
Yeah, definitely. It's quite a setback not having Cleophas there in that midfield. But you still think that one of the things that comes well for Soltilo Bright Stars is the quality in depth that they have. They've got quite a number of players that can always fill that gap with Ashraf Mulindi and Alex Mandela. You think that they've got that central midfield covered up. Now, the biggest question will be in that attack and whether they can find the goals that can get them over the line.
Well, Andrew Waiswa will not feature in this particular game after accumulating his 6th yellow card, and Mahad Yakakoza remains absent. There's also notoriously missing or suspectly missing a man in Brian Kalumba, and in his place, Yosa Asiki has to step in as Waswa Bosa contemplates where Good Friday will have any good tidings for the outfit from Busoga.
Rather, you can say that Gadaffi are going to have quite a work to do this afternoon. If you look at their recent form also, it's not been good. But they'll probably feel a bit confident coming up against another team that is in probably the same realm as they are in terms of struggling. With Alex Chitata, they've got a good striker who on his day could turn the game on its head, just like Johnson Odong, who we could say has yet to really hit the ground running since joining Gadaffi from Police last season. Simon Serunkuma is another one that has got a lot of experience, but the bottom line is that this Gadaffi Football Club have got to really work hard, because previous games that they played, you feel that they have not given as good as they should have been.
26 degrees it is right here at the Kavumba Recreational Grounds. Jermaine Egesa is the name. John Vianen Simba is with me in the commentary booth, and right at the center of the action, picked for this Good Friday, is none other than the referee Lucky Kasalire, who will hope he has a lucky game with few incidents to officiate on, as Elizabeth Nasolo, Edward Ziwa and Joyce Arhaire will be assisting him here, working out the final pre-match rituals. It all looks good, it all looks spick and span for the moment, but the strikes and straights in this game are real dear, especially with the number of games coming to the tail end of the start times. You got a Premier League. There's no room to slip up for any single individual on that pitch right now.
Yeah, of course, and these two sides know it, particularly this man in the picture, Asap Mwebaze. He knows that he's got a good team, but they've got to start putting results on the board, and that's something that they have not been able to master in the last 3 games. 3 losses on the bounce is quite a disappointing return of results, and he'll be hoping that maybe this is the day that the things start shining brightly for Bright Stars in the Star Times Uganda Premier League once again.
Hassan Matovu returning here, picked up a red card against UPDF, and was a dramatic circumstance. On the other side, opposite number Crispus Kusima is the man that is in the sticks for this game. A drop for Joel Mutakubwa to the bench from the prior game. Real switch up in how things do turn up here, as we are getting to just that minute that is taking us to kick off, as Lucky Kasalire just checking here to make sure that all clocks are synchronized. Believe me, the pressure for these players is quite intense. Festivities and celebrations is far from mine. And Waswa Bosa, even before kickoff, already has a thing or two to instruct out here.
Yeah, of course, but Waswa Bosa meant to understand that he had a bit of some kind of disagreement with some of his players, and especially because of the attitude that they showed against Busoga. Especially when you look back at the fact that Busoga had a player sent off early in the first half, and his players just failed to capitalize on that. But for Hassan Matovu in Bright Stars goal, he returns coincidentally in the game that is officiated by the man who sent him off, Lucky Kasadire. What kind of measure of events this is?
Ladies and gentlemen, match day 22 of the Star Times Uganda Premier League is set to get underway right here at the Kavumba Recreational Grounds. This is the Star Times Uganda Premier League. The race is on as we're counting down steadily to match day 30, when the league will come to a climax. But until then, It will all be action live and exclusive right here on Sanyuka Prime, the new home of the Star Times Ghana Premier League. And of course, it's all brought to you by MTN, your official broadcast sponsor. And we are underway. Soltilo Bright Stars in the deep blue color there, while the team known as Gadaffi Football Club are in all white with sashes out there. And 3 points, very crucial for both teams right here at Kavumba.
Well, I'm hoping that we can have a good game, especially when you consider the kind of stakes that are in this game. For Bright Stars, definitely being at home, they need to take advantage and ensure that they can win the game. On the other hand, also Gadaffi will feel that they need to stop the decline that they've been experiencing in the second round. So that, for me, should be enough incentive for the two sets of players to really give us a good game of football, attack and good defending, but one that is most predominantly dominated by the search for goals.
Big throw in here, trying to squeeze their way out in here. Ibrahim Kasinde, his industriousness will be quite crucial, especially as they try to get those balls up front. For Soltilo Bright Stars, it's been a big disappointment. 3 games on the bounce without seeing the back of the net. And those 3 games, coincidentally, have all turned out with an L.
Yeah, that is the thing that is quite surprising, especially when you look back at the way Bright Stars finished the first round and even the way they started the second round. They started with the draw, yes, against the Maroons, but then followed that up with a convincing win against Black Swan. You thought that maybe that was going to be the beginning of good things for them in the second round, but that result against UPDF just has turned out to be a precursor for disaster for them.
Well, that was a nice build-up here from Soltilo Bright Stars, but the ball eventually forced out, and that's a throw-in, as the team has a couple of options that they can definitely call on that bench there, including Derek Chigundu and Yasin Mugume, will be very crucial. Sanoni Morabi did not expect to have play time in the game against UPDF, but did end up getting some.
Yeah, and he kept his place for until Hassan Matovu returned. But he didn't do badly in 8 of these games, by the way, when you come to think about it.
Throw in. Delivered here for Soltilo Bright Stars, but quickly averted by the defense of Gadaffi. Just putting it out once again for another touch. Now trying to break enemy lines. Soltilo Bright Stars tend to look very formidable while at home, as Amir Kakomo, or it's actually Yunus Sibirwa, who continues that midfield partnership with Amir Kakomo in the absence of Mahadia Kakoza. Trying to send a long ball up front. Intended target there, supposed to be Yamukama. The ball goes away as a couple of players, including Stephen Munguchi and Joel Mutaku, were right at the edge. And you could say also sitting on the edge. Cross coming in, cleared away. Nice defensive block, and the referee says that's a foul. An instant there was the assumption that Latif Kayemba had managed to get that clean. The referee saw something very different, and rightly so, impeding the progress of Nelson Senkatuka, who tonight has the captain's armband draped around his arm again. The question is, can they get it right at the beginning? It would be the real tonic that they need to set the tone for this game, and probably to soothe some very, very frail and frigid nerves that they do carry in camp.
Yeah, and you see, that's the thing that the coach Asaf Rivers has said in the pre-match interview, that his players have got to try and overcome the fear, the nerves. And you look at those 3 games that they have lost, they've not scored a single goal in those 3 games. And they've ended up conceding 4 goals in those 3 games. So if they can get off the mark and score, then you think that that should lift the spirits of Soltilo Bright Stars.
Free kick coming up. Couple of options in this one. Looks like this might be poised to land sweetly for goal machine Nelson. Nelly Senkatuka does not get that on target.
Not a bad one if you think about it. I thought that if it had been on target, then you probably feel that Crispus Kusima could have found it difficult to keep it out. Incidentally, that each time that Bright Stars has scored first in the league this season, they've gone ahead to get a result. You look at the game against KCC, they won it 1-0. And game against Busoga, when they scored in Busoga first again, it's been that kind of season. When they score, they go ahead and win the game when they score first, or at least they get a result. And then the games that they've lost, each time it has been a case of conceding and not being able to respond.
Well, a quick cross coming in here for Gadaffi. Hastily cleared away by Bright Stars. Soltilo picking up the ball. Bunjo nodding, now getting it up onto the wing. Nice run forward here. Being pulled in by Kaka Umoin. Nice cross forward. Trying to chase this one down. This is going to be a real tussle here for the standing captain, Bakari Magumba.
Yeah, he's been in this position before, Bakari Magunda there in the picture, when he's had to captain Gadaffi in the absence of Andrew Weiser. So he's probably used to having that armband draped on his bicep, but also leading the team.
Chasing this one down, left to run to the goalkeeper. Picks that one up easily. Gideon Eto'o, another one who's a very steady figure at that back line. Probably it's just a question of how soon before he really comes of age. He's making big strides in that defense, and he's one of those very astute defenders.
Yeah, of course, there's one that is looked at as being the future of Bright Stars, and of course the qualities that he possesses make him quite a good catch for them. A misplaced pass coming in from Bunjo. Thought the idea was right, but the execution was really lacking there. Maybe hurried pass it was.
Possession now, battling for the ball. The ball is picked up here by Amir Kakomo. This is Yunus Sibirwa looking to venture forward, but nicely intercepted here by Giftodong. There's a foul and the free kick awarded here.
I guess that was quite inevitable that the whistle had to go there, Jermaine. You could see that Yunus Sibira had lost possession there, and he was trying his utmost to stretch out, and in the process he fouled Ibrahim Kasinde without any closeness to even getting the ball. So I guess it's expected in this kind of game, because with the desperation that the two sides possess right now or under, they'll try and fight for everything.
Long ball through. Cleared away. It just goes over the line. Bubbles on, and that's a throw in set to come through. Yunus Sibirwa so far having a very industrious afternoon. Ball played away into the center of the park. Nice pickup from Alex Mandela, who also recovers from injury. And now threads the long ball up onto the wing, looking for Emmanuel Peter Loki. Lord of Mischief, still trying to weave his brand around here, looking for Kakaumon. Tries to cross the ball in, but that's well intercepted, and that's a throw in set to coming.
Well, that was good keeping of the ball from Emmanuel Loki. But I thought that maybe what Kaka needed to do was swing in that cross the moment the ball arrived to his boot.
Hooked in, taken away. Retrieved here by Gadaffi Football Club. Johnson Odong not seeing a lot of the ball so far, as a long ball bubbles out in here. The goalkeeper flying out to pick that one. At least palm it away momentarily here, Crispus Kusima.
Yeah, that was good reaction from Crispus, Jermaine, because I thought that if he had tried to hold on to that ball, then you never know, it can easily slip out of your hands and just falls onto the feet of Nelly Senkatuka there.
Ball brought in, player brought down. That's a free kick. Ibrahim, actually this is Mandela fouling. It's a free kick coming up.
One of those young players also that is at Soltilo Bright Stars.
Ashraf Mulindi.
He's also got a lot of talent, and you think that the coach has decided to give him a chance, especially after the kind of results that they've been having. So why not make a few changes, maybe bring in somebody that may have some form, but also may not have the fear factor that has eaten up the rest of the team coming into this game.
John Biamukama fouling Senkatuka, and that's a free kick. Nelson brought to his ground, brought to the ground. It's a free kick awarded. 9 minutes, hasn't been any real skirmish that is one worthy of note, and that might be something that does not work well in favor of Bright Stars, because this Gadaffi team only gets better as the minutes wear on. Been much of their detriment in many games, and I would have thought that probably that's one thing that probably Soltilo Bright Stars should have taken note of and tried to use.
Yeah, you think so? The thing about Gadaffi, you could also say on the other hand, is that they've been quite solid defensively. It's not a team that has been conceding, because you look at the game that they lost, the first game they lost in the second round, which was away to Onduparaka. They lost that 1-2-1. Since then, they've drawn with Villa 1-1 and then gone ahead to draw with Express 0-0 and then drawn with Bull 0-0 and also against Busoga another 0-0. So you see that the team that doesn't score, they know how to defend. So maybe one thing that Bright Stars have got to do is ensure that they go ahead, get the goals, and because I just don't think that Gadaffi offers a lot going forward, and that is exactly what the assistant coach Zungu just told me in the pre-match, that they've got to try and create chances because they don't create enough, and also make sure that they score them.
All the way to the back, Warren Bude getting it back here to Hassan Matovu, launches a long ball, now picked up here beautifully by Nordin Bunjo. Lindi out onto the wing, seeking out Gift Odong. What can he come up with? Trying to put one into space here for Ibrahim Kasinde to chase down. And that's a hefty clearance that leaves the boot sailing to the skies. The referee will hold play here to allow Sadiq Sechembe to get his boot back onto his foot and probably tighten those laces a little more. If that's an indication of anything, you might have to strap everything down. You wouldn't want anything flying away. Lo and behold, particularly points Latif Chiemba is the man that has to set this one in motion once again.
Well, I was worried that maybe that boot could easily have ended up in the zoo here. The way it went flying up, I was worried that it could easily end up in one of the lions' cages right here at Kavumba. And
that be a sight.
But getting it out.
Wouldn't want to be a kids man around here. Free kick.
Latif has also looked good, by the way, since being introduced in that central defense. He's kept his place quite well, and you think that he's earned his position and trust of the coach because of how well he's been playing for Gadaffi.
Could be a delayed arrival of some of the fans, but this match starting off with not quite the huge number. Of course, Good Friday, many people in the festival mood, and many, of course, thinking it would be quite to their benefit to catch this one live on Sanyuka Prime. Ball is played through the midfield. Now here for Joel Madondo, almost outsmarting his way, and that's a free kick. Lucky Kasari not happy with that particular challenge. It's a free kick for Gadaffi. Advanced position, a chance to pile bodies forward, and they're doing that in quite numerable numbers.
Well, can this be the occasion where Joe Madondo can also try and show up? Because remember in the last game he scored a goal against Busoga and it was chalked off for offside.
Nice flick in, looking to nod it back here. Bakari Magunda was trying to get that one to his teammate, Alex Chitata, but that fizzles away. Beautiful timing from the captain. Actually just peeled away from the defense in time. Managed to nod it back into play. Now that move runs foul and goes aground as the ball just goes over the line. And that's a goal kick coming up for Soltilo Bright Stars.
Well, that was very close. And you thought that had that ball been well controlled by the captain there, Bakari Magunda, and just laid it into the path of the late arriving Alex Sitata, then this Gadaffi side could have had a goal to his name already, because I thought that was a good opportunity. Very close they came, and that should be a scare for Soltilo Bright Stars.
Well, they're in possession once again. Chitata getting the ball here to Simon Serunkuma. Started the last game, starts this one as well, manages to pick out Yamukama out on the right. Yamukama hoisting it into the box area. Chitata gets a touch, but does not get the angle right. The ball just harmlessly sails away for a goal kick.
That was good play coming in now from John Biamukama Toki, the good delivery. Problem was that probably what Alex Sitata needed to do was to move a little back so that he would give it the direction. Otherwise, he just lifted the ball and it easily went into touch. Yet you feel that if he had moved a little back and come forward to meet the ball, then he would have given it the punch that it needed to put it past the goalkeeper, Hassan Matov.
Out onto the left. Lobbed forward long, searching for their centre man. Chitata unable to get to him, and now the ball is well picked up here by Alex Mandela, setting it out onto the right. Looking for support coming in from Dennis Kakaumon to Warren Bude. Bude now opts to pick up Gift Odong. Brilliant pass, well controlled, getting it up front to Isaac Kasinde. Ibrahim Kasinde back onto the ball once again, looks to cross the ball in. But in the end, final product not quite as beautiful in comparison to the build-up. But they do get themselves a corner after 15 minutes of play. Still Bright Stars nil, Gadaffi Football Club nil.
The bad phase of play from Bright Stars. You look at the pass coming in from Warren Bullet, long across the field, and then it finds his right back there, Odong, who played a neat 1-2 with Ibrahim Kasinde, and of course Alex Mandela being involved in the build-up. And you feel that maybe that is what Soltilo Bright Stars have got to do a lot more, and try and make good build-up plays, so that they can dislodge the marking and the defensive approach of this Gadaffi side.
Ball hoisted in and a chance here. Senkatuka takes the shot, not on target. For one reason or another, the flag had actually stayed down. John Biamukama protesting in earnest to the referee. The other day, Nelson had been given a healthy slice of luck. He should have made that count.
Yeah, and I think that he was really caught in two minds. He probably he was thinking that he was offside, and he just decided to just go. And he was onside, by the way. He was clearly onside. Should have taken his time and possibly even put the ball on his footing, played the ball to his right, and curled it to the far side. Then that would have been quite an easy opportunity for him to score.
He probably best believed that he must have thought he was offside, and that's why he took that hurried shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Mandela plays it back to the goalkeeper, Hassan Matovu. Setting it up here for Warren Bule. Bule in possession. Ventures forward, taking inches, now crossing the ball long out onto the left, finding Kaka, Dennis Omon. Tries to break away, but shows too much of the ball to Yamukama and earns a throw in here. Throw in for Yamukama for Gadaffi Football Club. Forward, trying to get it to Joel Madondo, who seems to have an equal shot number. Kaka Dennis Omon marking him heavily here. They get another opportunity to get the throw up front. Fails to control the ball. Kaka Omon winning that battle. Johnson Odong tries to get the ball chested down, but instead it lands at the feet of the Lord of Mischief, who allows that ball to go away from him to America Como. Now Gadaffi on the attack. Odong Johnson loses possession. Soltilo Bright Stars in a race or a rush or a haste to actually get that ball up front. At some point you feel it's probably ill-advised as Ashraf Mulindi tries to race his way up front here to find the ball, goes over the line, they get a throw in for their troubles. Ibrahim Kasinde, player goes to the ground. Possession is turned over right now to Gadaffi Football Club. By the touchline, brilliant dribbling skills here on display by Yunus Sibirwa. Look, it was actually Simon Serunkuma, tries to get the ball forward. Another way, Biamukama through the center, Johnson Odong playing it back here for Amir Kakomo. Settling the ball back to the defense, trying to come and carve out places. Big show of intent there from Joel Madondo, but looks like he's well scouted tonight and constantly well marked, as Dennis Omon loses the ball here to Joel Madondo, who goes for an audacious attempt from distance. Speculative. The end only goes out wide.
Well, you can see a bit of the disappointment coming in, I think, from the technical bench of Maroons, seeing the way that ball was lost by Kaka. And he did not make any effort trying to retrieve it from Joe Madono. And then on the other hand, you just saw Waswa Bosa really upset with Joe Madono that he took that kind of wayward shot that just could not even have passed for a conversion in rugby.
Nicely nodded back here by Alex Chitata, but was a little too optimistic there as they lost the ball. Now here comes Loki Peter Emmanuel, picking up the ball, twisting one way, then the other, gets into a scuffle with Kari Magumba, and the referee gives them a free kick here. Brought to the ground, benefit of doubt given to the Soltilo Bright Stars attacker.
Yeah, I don't think there can be much complaint by Bakari Magunda, because he took him from under his feet, and it's a kind of free kick that is quite inviting. Good one for Bright Stars with good headers of the ball. Then you can consider this as a good opportunity for them to try and get a goal.
Bosa spotting something in that defense that he needs to be quickly straightened out. 19 minutes, quickly approaching 20. Still Soltilo Bright Stars nil, Gadaffi Football Club nil. The only game in the Star Times Uganda Premier League this afternoon, Good Friday afternoon, as the shot comes in from distance from Nudin Bunjo. One just goes away from the former pro-line man. Scores out here for nothing more than a goal kick.
Well, it's not usual that you see Nudin Bunjo trying to hit the shots from distance. He normally prefers to set up plays for his teammates.
Now it's picked up here by Kasinde. Skips away from one challenge, Ibrahim Kasinde, but nicely closed down by the Soldier Boys. And now trying to get Odong Johnson in play. Been quite the run in here. Long ball looking for Chitata. Chitata not available. And now Joel Madondo tries to lob it back in, but that's straight to the waiting hands of Hassan Matovu. Nordin Bunjo. Bunjo Nordin plays it forward for Kaka Elisumon. Bunjo, the metronome in the midfield here of Soltilo Bright Stars. Plays it back to Kaka. Kaka now to Emmanuel Peter Loki, who's quickly bamboozled. Well played there from Biamukama, cutting him away. America Como. Johnson Odong. Sibirwa Yunus. Possession. Yunus Sibirwa receiving that from Simon Semunkuma. Johnson Odong loses possession. The referee feels too combative in approach. Johnson Odong seems to have a bee in his bonnet. Quickly gets the game restarted. Madondo picks up the ball. Emmanuel Loki giving a master class in how to press, and a couple of his teammates will learn how to quickly try and close down every single attempt to pass the ball.
But I think we're watching a game, Jermaine, between two sides that have been struggling of late, and you can still see that the struggles that they have. A bit of carelessness in possession, but also you don't see either of them dominating the other, and that's possibly something that we wear off as the game continues. But from what we've seen so far, you can't really tell who is doing a better job than the other. It's still a very close game, and from the attackers on either side, I think that one of the things that is still troubling them is the lack of service.
Pretty cagey in these early exchanges. After 22 minutes, still 0-0 between Soltilo Bright Stars and Gadaffi Football Club. Pilsner Lager is the official beer brand of the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Stand tall, stride on. Your time is now. Into the center. Joe Madondo dropping deep to pick up the ball, but ends up losing possession now. Nelson Senkatuka threads it through here for Ibrahim Kasinde into space. Can he pick out the pass here and trying to get the cross in? But good defending from Yunus Sibirwa averts the possibility here. Ibrahim Kasinde holding on just for the right moment, and rightly so. In my opinion, Nelson Senkatuka was arriving in there. Nordin Bunjo was coming in as a late arrival. Peter Loki had picked the far post. Momentary slow, just to slow down that run, allowing his teammates to get into place, but turned out to be the wrong decision, as this time he was closed down.
Yeah, I think what he was trying to do was waiting for somebody to make a late run, but the Bright Stars players were not getting into the positions as he wanted, because he wanted to play cut back where there's somebody making a late run and then just smashes the ball as the defenders just flood maybe their penalty area. But also the other thing that you've got to credit Gadaffi Football Club for is that they waited for him. They did not just go in gung-ho. They waited and made sure that they closed down any spaces that would have allowed Bright Stars to get a late runner, pouncing on a loose ball played in behind the defenders of Gadaffi.
Here's one who loves to wreak havoc, Emmanuel Peter Loki. This time, for the moment, they seem to have him under lock and key. Ball is cleared away. Ironic, Loki is under lock and key. Ball picked up here by Hassan Matovu. Spread out onto the wing, gift to Dong. Square pass, well intercepted by Sadiq Chechembe. This is now Johnson Odong. Loses possession quite susceptibly there to Ibrahim Kasinde, who's also dropping back to put up some defensive display. Good play from Ashraf Mulindi. Forward for Loki. Bubbly ball, and Amir Kakomo gives him the real 360 roundabout view. Retains possession. Soltilo Bright Stars snatch it again. I don't think any player has had more interceptions on this pitch than Ibrahim Kasinde. He's literally becoming another Fagan here, or would be a good role model for Charles Dickens' novel there. Pickpocket galore. Keeps picking that ball when least expected. Senkatuka to get that into a forward motion. The ball is lost and now tries to race forward. Picks up the ball. Once again, Bakari Magumba closes him down. Favor of another throw in here for Bright Stars. And in that succession, quick succession, another ball into touch. This time it will be a corner. Nordin Bunjo hurries over to deliver the set piece duties.
Well, I think that's one of the things that is still failing Bright Stars when they go into attack. The support play from one another is still lacking. The players are quite slow getting into positions where they can, you know, try and conjure up the 1-2s from which they can try and create scoring chances.
Long cross out onto the far post, played back into near post, and then eventually goes away. And now a counter-attack could be on. Try to set the ball here for Joel Madon. Samuel Serunkuma made the wrong decision. Probably thought he would slip an inch past his marker. Turned out it was very astute defending there from Bright Stars. Counter-attack falls to naught.
Yeah, you can see that was a good opportunity for Gadaffi Football Club on the break. But then you've got to try and make sure to use the ball smartly. And also you've got to make sure that you make the right runs. And that's something that you feel that just eluded Gadaffi Football Club. If they had contained that ball well and allowed maybe Simon Serukuma to make the run, then that would have allowed them to give this Bright Stars side a bit of more trouble than what they did otherwise. That was a good one that on another day, better management of the ball, then you're in things and you're going to be scoring a goal.
Picking it up from the defense once again, Dennis Kaka Omo. Plays it forward, Bunjo. Nordin, physical battle with Bakari Magumba, who's been given the roundabout, real runabout, and he's getting a little more robust in his challenges. He want to keep himself in check. Long ball played through. Yunus Sibirwa dropping back to help cover the numbers. And eventually cleared away by John Biamukama. To the center, Mandela plays it away here looking for Gideon. Eto'o launches a long ball up front. No one in particular. Headed away. Now placed down in the center of the park. Swift control here from Ashraf Mulindi. Picking up Gift Odongo. Plays it forward. Ibrahim Kasinde. Can he come up with the right move here? Skips away from one challenge, skips away from a second. Getting it on, looking for support, but nobody was there at the right time. Was promising, very promising attack, but breaks down.
Yeah, good ball control there, by the way, by Ibrahim Kasinde. But the final pass, he should have played it to Bunjo as opposed to trying to play it to Alex Mandela, who was making that late arrival. Bunjo was in acres of space, and if he had received that ball, he was really capable of causing danger to this Gadaffi side.
Chipping that ball forward once again. That's a hasty clearance from Dennis Omonya. And the second time we're seeing him turning to make that clearance. If that becomes a pattern and the Gadaffi players figure it out, someone will be lurking on that end, just waiting for that wayward pass. That could spell a lot of doom.
Well, I thought that that's the kind of ball that he could have easily brought under control and initiated the fresh attack for Soltilo Bright Stars. I just don't understand why he decided to just kick it away. Game of football that you feel that will probably be decided by just one moment of brilliance if there's to be a goal scored in this game. Yeah.
Well, here comes Ibrahim Kasinde. Looks like poised to deliver that moment that you're looking out for. Plays the ball in, looking for support from Mulindi. Getting it on to Nordin Bunjo. A little stretched and off balance. They lose possession, but they could snatch it back again here. Real physical duel. Referee says robust but fair challenge with a good shot. Scores over the bar. Amir Kakomo did not think that was a very good one.
Seems like he was unfairly treated by the opponents, and he expected maybe the referee's whistle to go. Let's have a look at it on the replay and see. Oh no, actually he is the one who kicked, because what happened is that Alex Mulinde just Mandela rather took the ball away. If you look at this replay here, let's see. Seems like he's the one actually who kicked.
He's actually clutching at his knee, and I didn't see any contact with the knee.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that the referee was right there and made the right call.
Long ball forward, nodded away. Gideon Eto'o. That's a throw in set to come up here for Gadaffi. Just a couple of seconds shy of the half-hour mark, and we are yet to see goals or any real goal-mouth action, if we're to be honest. Both teams still cagey, Still testing out the waters, just dipping their toes. Not ready to jump in full end. That could be something that could quite easily change, easily dispossess their captain from captain. Kari Magumba dispossessing Nelson Senkatuka. And now through to the center to Johnson Odong. Gets the 1-2, Yunus Simirwa back to Odong. Odong now gets the ball away and the ball is intercepted. And it looks like it's definitely a Good Friday. Sam, be a payday. Question is for Asaf Mwebaze, will his team get paid today? Or will Gadaffi also hope that they are getting paid?
Well, we just have to wait and see what happens. From what is happening in these exchanges and during this time of the game, you can see that we have the first shot on target coming in from Johnson Odong, and quite close it was. Good goalkeeping coming in from Hassan Matovu. And this is what we have been calling for. We need to see these teams trying to score goals, but also forcing the goalkeepers into saves. And that is what Odong just did there. That was really smart play.
It looked good in real time. It looks even better in slow-mo. My goodness, Santa Maria. Oh, that was a brilliant beauty. Half an hour of action and we almost got something to celebrate for Waswa Bossa. He's desperate for that goal because as far as he's concerned, it might just take one, only one. Corner, brought in, palmed away by the goalkeeper, Hassan Matovu. Goes over the line, that's a throw-in set to come through.
Well, I think that for Waswa Bossa, he's also feeling the pressure because I'm meant to understand that the club supremo, Edwin Ocheng, has not been happy about the run of results that the team has been registering. And he made it known to them after the game against Busoga, failing to beat a 10-man Busoga, a team that played for close to 40 minutes, actually 45 minutes without, because the whole of the second half and 7 minutes of the first half, they were 10 and they still failed to win that game. That was clearly unacceptable under all circumstances, and it was really disappointing that Gadaffi failed to capitalize, and I guess there's been a problem of the player attitude.
Needless to say, this Busoga side spent the larger part of the first round in the relegation area, and as we speak, are only 3 points from the bottom. You're failing to beat those that should be beaten. I think his irration quite justified.
Yeah, exactly, and even Waswa Bossa knows that, and I'm sure that's the reason why he gets disappointed when he sees good opportunities being misused. And of course, you could say that that was not a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity by Johnson Odong, but the way he took it, he felt that for any coach, they would feel that maybe that's the kind of attempt that should have rattled the net.
Trying to control the ball here and bring it under play. Kasinde to chase this one down, attempted to try and give the slip here to Yunus Simirwa, but Yunus Simirwa is one of those players that possesses a very keen sense. You could almost call it a sixth sense of timing. He knows when to go in. You rarely see him rushing into a challenge. Knows when he's about to be faked. Knows when he knows it's for real. It's just an uncanny sense about him. Like he literally reads minds.
Yeah, I think that he's got that calmness about him when he's going in to mark his opponent. And he reads the feet movement quite well. CSM was already getting up and throwing in a few instructions.
Free kick here for Bright Stars. Easily averted once again.
Not a good one. Not a good free kick, Jermaine.
Not at all.
Yeah, you can't play such a free kick just at the feet of your opponent. You've got to try and make it difficult for them. So you've got to play it over the top so that you give a chance to players like Eto'o Gideon and Warren Bule or Loki to note that ball.
Ball comes up here. Loki trying to keep it in play. Good show of passion and commitment to fight for every opportunity. I don't know why, but I have a real gut feeling somewhere in my mind that seems to say Johnson Odong just might want to try that shot again. And this time, Bright Stars may be unlucky, especially if they keep giving him that much space in that midfield.
Yeah, of course, that's something that should have sent them some bit of warning bells. Seeing the way he took that shot, they can't afford to allow him that space. Otherwise, he's the kind of player who can score goals. He's not done so much of that this season like he did for Police 3 seasons before this one. He was really one of those very, very mercurial players when in possession. And now this time around, he struggled a bit, but you know, class is permanent and form is just temporary.
Amir Kakomo looking to unleash a cannon of his own. Looked like it was one born out of desperation. Now Yunus Sibirwa sizing up his options. Decides to pop it into the center of the park here for Joe Madondo. Skips away and takes a shot from distance. Looked like that caught an arm flailing. But the instruction is pretty clear. They're not going to wait to get into the 18-yard box here. Everybody is trying to go for open target practice.
Yeah, I thought that was also brilliant from Joe Madondo. The way he eluded his marker, he dribbled past him and put the ball into space to create that goal scoring opportunity. But I think he needed to watch the bodies that were ahead of him before taking that shot. Otherwise, that was a good opportunity for Gadaffi also and for Joe Madondo particularly to try and explore his shooting range.
Tiff Chiemba getting the ball up front, and Johnson Odong manages to retain it. And now flicking it up front for Alex Chitata. What can they come up with? Solomon Serunkuma is out on the wing, looks up, guides one in, and well, the nod, I can't exactly call it a header, but a nod from Joe Madondo finds comfort in the bosom of the goalkeeper, who sets it off instantly for Bright Stars. Not exactly very bright in their passing there from Dennis Kaka Omon.
I don't know what just got into him there, because he didn't have so much pressure on him, and then how he ended up playing the ball in 2 touches beyond me. I guess that it all comes down to what the coaches have been saying, that a bit of pressure on the sides, and somehow the decisions they make are rushed.
John Biamukama is another one who makes a wayward cross across the face of the pitch. There's a shove off there. Referee Kasarire says it's fair. Carry on with play. Latif Chiemba is playing in multiple positions today. Started off as a centre back, but also having extensive duties as the left back. As on attack, here comes Joel Madondo, tries to thread in through now, trying to use the acceleration to get forward. In the end, the ball is knocked out. That was good timing, a split second later, and that could have spelled all sorts of problems here for Soltilo Bright Stars. Very good defending there from Odong Gift.
Yeah, that was really good, because you know the speed that Madondo Joel possesses. If he goes past you easily and you don't block his pathway, then he's the kind of player that can finish off chances. But I can tell you that Gadaffi and their technical staff on the bench are not happy about the call that was just made there by the referee, where he felt that maybe Alex Chitata went down so easily.
Corner brought in, scuffle in the box area. Looks like that went off the eye of Nordin Buncho. That spells that will switch angles, and now the corner will take it from the opposite direction, prompting a quick trot forward here for the man in Sadiq Sechembe to deliver this one. Back from injury, and well, looking to make an impact in here. Didn't play a full 90 minutes in his last game. We're hoping that he has actually gained a little more sharpness in this one and can go the distance.
Well, he's a player that possesses some good ball skills. Technically, he's such a good player. In fact, for me, I was surprised that Express let him go.
Averted from danger by Emmanuel Peter Loki. That goes off the line for a throw-in for Gadaffi Football Club. Most of instructions here from both teams and their benches. Could be quite the Tower of Babel out there. Just how many instructions are being reined in. So far at the moment, it's giving neither an inch nor a quarter in this game. Still 0-0, still in that deadlock, tied as tight as the Gordian knot.
Well, I just don't understand what kind of pass that was coming in from Amil Kakomo, just trying to play the ball there over the top, but to no one. I just didn't understand what the idea was, because you can see it clearly that you don't have any teammates that are making the run in behind. So why do you play that kind of pass? I thought that you play that pass when you can see somebody making the run in behind with the hope that he can control that ball and then smash it into the back of the net. But then he just plays it straight to the goalkeeper. And these are the kind of decisions that are quite, detrimental to a team's possibilities of creating chances in a game. And you think that Gadaffi has got to try and arrest that.
Trying to pass this one forward. Simon Serunkuma slips it up here for Johnson Odong. Assesses options and picks up Ahmed Kakomo. Back to Odong. Tries to provide here for Simon Serunkuma, sorry. Ball is averted, and here comes Emmanuel Peter Loki. Just trying to bring the ball under control, and then a foot race will ensue. Peter Loki carving in, twisting one way. Been a real tricky customer on that wing for Biamukama. Feeds it now to Kakaumon. Tries to go for the cross. That's a bit wayward. Actually very wayward, as Ibrahim Kasinde will look to retrieve possession, and they lose out in the end. Ball goes over the line, it's a throw in.
Well, I just think that the biggest problem with this Bright Stars side is their reaction of the ball. When they win possession, you don't see players rushing in to try and go forward and provide options, because you look at the time that Loki spent with the ball waiting for Kaka to make that run in behind so that he would play it into his path, and by the time he played it to him, the space had been closed down by Biamukama, so that's the reason why he plays that wayward pass. They need to move in synchrony and with quickness to try and catch Gadaffi cold.
40 minutes on the clock and counting. Just 5 minutes left to play as that ball is left to roll out here for a goal kick. Pilsner Lager is the official beer brand. Start time to get a Premier League. Stand tall, stride on. Your time is now. Talk about time. It's just those 5 minutes left in the first half. To be honest, I don't think either coach or either technical bench will be much pleased with the display from the first half. Yes, it hasn't had any shakes, so that means it's not yet broken. No need to really fix it. But also it hasn't showed any creativity, any real hunger, any real urgency, any dire need to survive and pick 3 points.
Well, the thing is that there's only been one shot on target, so I don't know if you were a coach, Jermaine, if the whole game has had one shot on target after 41 minutes, would you be pleased? Speaking of which, yesterday, the coach of the month, February and March, Nelly Jackson Magera of SC Villa, received his gong from Pilsner last evening, and Simon Tamale, the former goalkeeper of Bright Stars, now at Maroons, was voted best goalkeeper.
Very
first goalkeeper to win that award.
Very difficult to put it past either of the two, because heads and shoulders above everybody else in the league, and that says something. I was really interested by the fact that the coach of the month, there was, a nomination for Sports Club Villa's Jackson Magera, but none of his players was nominated in the Players of the Month, and his team is at the top of the table. That should tell you just how much work he's putting in with that Sports Club Villa team.
Well, the thing is that he's built a Sports Club Villa side that is not really reliant on just 1-2 individuals. So you find that this game, one player will come up and emerge as a match winner, as opposed to maybe a team like Express, where much of the success of the team has depended so much on a player like Alan Kayua. When you look at a team like Vipers, on the other hand, much of their success rotates around a player like, say, Yunus Sentamu and Milton Karisa on the other hand. So the thing about Villa is that they've got this can-do attitude, and winners are across the field and just not 1 or 2 individuals.
Even more interestingly, the fact that the goal scorer does not necessarily end up being the match winner for Villa. Something that we also saw with...
or you mean the man of the match?
Not necessarily the man of the match. I'm talking about the most, influential player of the pitch is not necessarily the one that gets to score the goal.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And tomorrow we shall be returning to Wakiso, as Villa will be taking on Wakiso Giants, just a stone throw away from here at the Kabaka Chabagu. That should be an exciting game. And one, I'm sure, is going to be a big test for SC Villa on whether they can maintain the consistency. For Wakiso, they're desperate to get back winning ways. They have not won in the second round after 6 games.
Clouds are gathering and a heavy breeze descends on Kavumba Recreation. Makes for ideal play. That is situations here. Johnson Odongo's trying to glide his way into that 18-yard box here. Temperatures dropping a little bit. For many will be hoping that's all it happens and nothing like rain clouds gathering. But believe me, a real brooding atmosphere up there in the skies, and one that is reflected on the faces of the coaches, as there's a foul here by Joel Madondo. It's a free kick set to come through. Caught in a momentary lapse of concentration. Warren Bullet, who rarely puts a foot wrong. As we come to the final minute before time to be added on, it could be an ideal time to go ahead and get that goal. Standing forward for this is Sadiq Sechembe. Or had anyone noticed that shirt seems to be one that had to be quickly fixed in the dressing room to suit his number and name. Sechembe going for the far post. Could be a good idea. The offside flag had already come up here against Gadaffi Football Club, but that draws a couple of hand claps here, especially from the bench of Gadaffi. They acknowledge the fact that that right there there's a sort of ingenuity that they need to see.
Yeah, of course. I think that was a good opportunity had Bakari Magunda not gone early. That's where you feel that they could have punished the Soltilo Bright Stars, and that's why this should be warning signs for Soltilo Bright Stars to try and meet that ball, to try and mark the opponents when those crosses are being brought into that penalty area.
Well, Severua earlier on, they're almost making a bit of a meal of it. But now Tochi Biamukama puts the ball away as we strike the 45th minute mark. Anytime now, we'll be finding out for the fourth official just how many minutes will be played for extra time. Just the one, as the fourth official's board signals there. It's the Star Times Uganda Premier League coming to you live from Kavumba Recreational Stadium. And of course, coming to you here on Sanyuka Prime, the new home of the Star Times Uganda Premier League. All brought to you by MTN, the official broadcast sponsor. Bright Stars nil, Gadaffi nil. Well,
kind of outcome that you feel that will be disappointing for the two coaches, but more importantly for Asam Webasi of Bright Stars, be wondering what needs, where he needs to make some changes, because they've not really tested the goalkeeper Crispus Kusima. No shot on target in the first half, and you're not going to score goals unless you make attempts towards goal.
Ball goes on the line. Referee signals that's a throw in, set to come through for Gadaffi and maybe the final bit of action. Or not. Christ will be very happy with his faithfuls. They've kept faith for over 2,000 years after he died for them. I'm not so sure the fans of Gadaffi or Bright Stars, who die a little every other match day for their players, will be happy with the display that they've seen in the first 45 minutes. And a heavy reflection beckons both teams in the dressing rooms. They haven't created enough, they haven't been incisive enough, they haven't been clinical enough, they haven't been just short of above average. And that's something that needs to heavily change, especially for their star players, if they are to pick up anything in this particular match in the next 45 minutes. Halftime at the Kavumba Recreational Grounds. It's Soltilo Bright Stars nil, Gadaffi Football Club nil. And a similar pattern could be happening for both teams. Hopeful for 3 points, at the moment only assured of 1, and the possibility that none could be selected or collected is a very real one. Welcome back to the Kavumba Recreational Ground. Second half is about to get underway. Jermaine Egesa here. John Vianen Simba is with me. Soltilo Bright Stars in blue in possession right now as they face off with Gadaffi Football Club, the Soldier Boys in white. It's coming to you live here on Sanyuka Prime, all brought to you by MTN, the official broadcast sponsor.
Well, a lot of improvement will be expected from the two sides. I'm sure that in the locker room there, the two coaches were emphasizing the same thing, that they've got to play with more guts, but also try and show more ingenuity. We've not seen so many attempts on goal from the two sides, just the one shot on target, or rather 2 shots on target by Gadaffi, while for Soltilo Bright Stars yet to master one. So it's going to be a remarkable improvement that is needed from the two sides if something is to change in this second half.
Ball played out onto the wing. No changes in personnel as per halftime. Crossed in. And in the end, the attempt looked like I actually jinxed it. Was quite laughable.
Well, was that a shot on target? Because it was on target, actually.
It would be the first one, because
if
the
it had
first
gone
half,
past the goalkeeper, it would have been in the net.
It was a very huge damnation of their performance. You cannot play at home as the home team and not have a single shot on target.
Yeah, and I think also the other thing that Coach Asaf Mobase will probably be emphasizing to his side is try to play the ball on the ground, but also play it quicker than they did in the first half. I think they're still struggling for the confidence, like he said, and that's the reason why they've misused so much of the possession that they've had.
Johnson Odong here judged guilty of having been a little too enthusiastic in his approach to the game, and maybe being a little more imperious on his attack.
And we think that also he's one of those players that has got a lot of quality, that should be showing it a lot more consistently than he does. He just huffs and puffs, and for Johnson Odong, I'm sure there will be a feeling of disappointment from Gadaffi that he doesn't really show so much of the quality that he actually has.
Player on the ground. Referee adjudges there's a foul, and it's a free kick awarded here in favor of Soltilo Bright Stars. Ibrahim Kasindo will be very happy about that.
I just don't understand what this guy is wearing. That is Sechembe. Is it shot 12, shot 17? Then if it's
It was supposed to be shot 12, but somehow conveniently turned to 17.
Now that means there are two players on the field that are putting on shot 17, him and Johnson Odon. I wonder what got them into this kind of situation.
11.
11 is actually Biamukama.
Oh, what's his number then? Ball brought through, picked up.
I think it's previously put on shot 27, if I'm not mistaken. If you look back at the lineup that they had on Tuesday,
Because supposed to put on shot number 27.
Yes, exactly. That's the shot number that I know him to put on. So why he came up with something close to 17 is beyond me. I think that's also somewhere you feel that these small things really do not paint a club in good light. The fact that you do not have your jerseys well prepared.
Ball charged down here. Trying to go about with his business here. Simon Serunkuma trying to stroke up the favors of the pitch. Now here, Nodin Punjo gets the ball on. And the small bird outside our commentary booth here tells me the head coach has asked the entire bench to go and start warming up. The head coach of Gadaffi.
Yeah, I think it's important that they do warm up, because I'm looking at the kind of performances that have been showcased by the players on the field. It's imperative that some changes are made if there's no tremendous improvement that is realized in the first 15-20 minutes of the second half.
Out onto the sidelines, Amer Kakomo chips the ball up front. Well controlled here by Alex Chitata Benzema. He's yet to put that Benz into the game.
Yeah.
And emulate the man that scored a hat-trick just a couple of days ago.
And he was incidentally putting on white. And they were away from home against a team that was putting on something like a dark shade of blue. So I think sometimes players need to watch out for the names that they call themselves, especially if they can't replicate that kind of class.
Interesting.
That is showcased by the forebearers of those names.
Nice crossing. The ball is cleared away. Try to get this one through. Well, talking about that man, Alex Chitata, in the reverse fixture, he was the only name on the score sheet scoring his hat-trick for this season, 3-0. It was against his Bright Star side. But here comes Senkatuka, tries to take the ball, and a little too tame, a little too lukewarm, a little too timid in the end to cause any real damage.
Yeah, but that was a good attempt coming in from Nelson Senkatuka, although you must point out that he had time to actually wait for his teammates to be drawn in to get a better angle to force the goalkeeper into a more precarious situation than that one, because that shot near angle is easy.
Well, Bakari Magumba gets a yellow card here and was asking the referee what he's done wrong. Lucky Kasarire not standing on occasion. Oh, the right statement would be suffering no fools on his pitch. Because clearly that was him emphasizing at the end of the day that absolutely nothing was going to change his mind. John Sododong was the man that fouled, and clearly a mouthful must have come in from Bakari Magumba. Lucky Kasarire is one who is very quick of the ear and one that actually gets his job done, especially once he hears it outright.
Yeah, but also the other thing is that it's probably not the first time that it's happened, because I remember him talking to the Gadaffi captain Bakari Magunda about a particular incident in the first half, and I guess it is that kind of insensate talking, bad mouthing the referee that he feels that has gone on for far too long. So that's the reason why Bakari Magunda finds himself in the referee's notebook this early in the second half.
Talking about finding self, Alex Mandela also finds himself now limping on the pitch, but might be able to continue, should be able to continue running that one off. Nelson Senkatuka and Ashraf Molindi stepping up to this one. Looks like it's heavy, hefty attempt there. A little too ambulent here coming in from Bright Stars, so not getting it on target. Probably needed to get a little more poise on that one.
Yeah, and keep it a little low. And sometimes these kinds of moments need a lot of calmness, a lot of calculation before you take that kick. Otherwise, you put it to waste, like we just seen there. Warren Bulle just took it pretty haywire.
Interestingly, it's been a game where there's not been a lot of work for the people on the sidelines. Even the medical officers have not really had much to do in this game, as a through pass is nailed here by Nelly. The ball is intercepted. Took it away. Sadiq Sejembe putting in a good pass in there. Eventually the ball comes here to Simon Serunkuma, streaking forward, trying to outstrip his marker, and whips in the cross just in time. Alex Chitata, well held off here by his opponent. Loses possession. Now Emmanuel Peter Loki. Ball is left to roll out over the line. That's a throw in coming up here for the Bright Stars of Soltilo.
Well, there's some bit of intensity from the two sides, and they're hurrying their attacks. At each time they get the break, they really make the run for it, like we just saw Simon Serunkuma do there. His cutback pass wasn't a bad idea, just that you could see that Alex Chitata was shrugged off easily by Eto'o Gideon in the Soltilo Bright Stars defense. And then when the ball was moved to the other end, you could see how aggressive that Gadaffi defense was in ensuring that Peter Loki did not get a quick run towards their goal.
Well, it looks like two players are about to be brought onto the pitch here for Gadaffi. Warm-ups are done, they're strapped into their kits, and looks like Gadaffi will be making a bit of a swap, but that will come after this free kick. Launched long into the 18-yard box, repelled here. Bright Stars determined not to be held under siege. Sadiq Sechembe now passes the ball back to the goalkeeper. Tips it delicately, and that's a bit careless from Crispus Kusima. It's definitely bound to draw the wrath of his coach at a later point. Now the ball is left to run all the way back to Hassan Matovu, taking his time here. Now releasing it out here for Warren Bulle. Bulle in possession. Spreading it out here for Gideon Eto'o. Eto'o Gideon makes a long cross forward, only to meet the head of Bakari Magumba. Now another attempted cross in, looking to stretch this one through. Latif Chiemba, so putting up a solid defensive display there. Across to the side, Nordin Bunjo gets it onto the wing, looking for the shot in. But in the end, it was an attempt at a hard cross, and Ibrahim Kasinde manages to gain a corner. So substitution it is. Asiki was supposed to have started this game, but a swap in the dressing room, so Joe Madondo start ahead of him. Now Johnson Odong will exit the game for Stephen Munguchi, while Simon Serunkuma is the man that will make way for the youngster Yosa Asiki, who I'm told is a real darling down at Gadaffi.
Well, I think it's not surprising. Johnson Odong, again, another game of football that you feel that he's not left a lot in terms of impact, except for that shot on target at the tail end of the first half, but his continuous impact on the game has not really been felt, so not surprised that he's been taken up. Simon Serunkuma, on the other hand, has also not really put this Soltilo Bright Stars defense under a lot of pressure.
Corner whipped in, repelled momentarily by the Soldier Boys. They are collected on the far end. Manuel Peter Loki just drawing in everyone to assuming he was going to let it roll, and now the quick cross comes in. Again, it's not well worked. It's another wasted opportunity here for Asaf Mwebaz's Chargers.
Yeah, I think that Warren Bulle just spotted his teammate there, Mandela, but the cross was not well weighted. It was quite heavy and so deep. In the end, they lose another good opportunity to try and get a goal in this game. I think they need to use the ball a lot better, and that's something that has really not looked as good this afternoon. They are not really passing as the Bright Stars side we know they can. They are not really controlling the game. You still feel that it's a game that has not shown them to be the host, because as a home side, they're supposed to be on top of things, and that's not something that we've seen of Bright Stars this evening.
The popular consensus that slick passing is the preserve of the Wakiso sides. Well, one of the Wakiso sides today seems to have forgotten that mantra. Throw in, Amir Kakomo crossing the ball forward here, and the ball is punched away. A bit risky there, coming in from the goalkeeper Hassan Matovu, but manages to get the job done. Now looking to turn defense into attack. Quick sprint up front here, trying to get onto that ball. Ashraf Mulindi For the moment, being deployed slightly forward away from his original central midfield positioning. Ball is played forward back to the goalkeeper. Hassan Matoto picks that one up with ease. Now that's a beautiful throw, but finding the wrong man, Joel Madondo, who picks up the ball, trying to battle his way forward, and the ball goes over the line. That's a throw in. Asaf Mwebaze just seems to have nothing going for his team at the moment. The tactics are there, the players and the potential and the ability all there. Somehow it's not coming together on the pitch.
Yeah, it is not. And I'm sure that for any coach, he'll be frustrated that his team is not playing as well as he probably expects them to. But I guess he also understands that the situation that they're in, somehow you're going to find players with a bit of nerves.
Chance here for Gadaffi! And the youngster! The darling! The wonder kid! Yosa Asiki introduces himself to the Ugandan audience and befittingly celebrates with the coach. Oh, what a way to introduce yourself to the game. What a way to make your entry. What a way to signal reincarnation. It's rebirth for Gadaffi, and it's right on the shoulders of a youngster. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the name. Yosa Asiki gives Gadaffi the lead.
Well, you can see what it means to him. He runs to his coach in tribute and to thank him. But look at the defending of his side. Exactly the same mistakes that have been making in previous games. Poor marking, and then that's the easy shot. If you look at the goal that SC Villa scored through Bale, again, the ball is played into that penalty area, but that was a great technique coming in now from Alex Titata, finding Jonas, who was unmarked clearly, and that was always going to be easy. And clearly, the defending is clear to tell only one point, and that is that they've slept on Job, and the coach is clearly upset about it.
Talk about being grim, because at the moment this is absolutely nothing that he could have bargained for. It's Good Friday. It feels like his team is still waiting for something bigger than the Messiah to die for them. Yeah,
exactly. And you can see that even when they go forward, they're lacking numbers in that penalty area. And that is not something that is going to work for them. It's pretty counterproductive if you do not get your positions into that penalty area to wait for the ball being delivered by the wingers. And that's something that really needs to improve about this Bright Stars side. Otherwise, they're staring a fourth defeat in a row in the face.
That's the look of a man told that he has minutes to be hanged at the gallows. A man that realizes he's sitting on a powdered keg and someone just lit a matchstick around him. Man realizes he is on borrowed time, and not because of his abilities being inadequate. Maybe Lady Luck just failing to smile down at his side.
Well, the thing is, I don't think it will even be counted on luck, Jermaine. I just think that the players are switching off, and you can see that the Bright Stars players are clearly struggling. They're not playing well, but also simple, basic things like concentration. Because if you look at that goal that they conceded, how could they let Jonas Asiki remain unguarded the way he is? And then how could they let Alex Chitata also receive that ball and guide it back into that penalty area without anybody pressing him? And it all comes down to that simple basic of football. You've got to keep your wits up, you've got to concentrate, you've got to mark your opponent, you've got to make sure that you do not allow them to gain any bit of advantage. You look at the goal, like I said, that they conceded against Villa, that long-range shot scored by Charles Bale. And it's not any different from that one. Yes, the other one was a run from deep, and then a ball played outside the penalty area, and Bale just guides it home because nobody was marking him.
It's Yosa Asiki, and that gives the lead here to this particular team, Gadaffi Football Club. 1 hour of action, 1 minute and a couple of seconds in here. And we finally have a goal in this one. Bright Stars now have their backs against the wall. They have to bounce back in this one. It's the Start Times Ghana Premier League, and Pilsner Lager is the official beer brand. Start Times Ghana Premier League. Stand tall, stride on. Your time is now.
Well, I can tell you that this is going to be a huge test of this Bright Stars side. Can they bounce back? The previous games in which they have conceded, they have failed to get back into games now. So they're going to show whether they've got the character to fight, and otherwise if they do not show it, then they're going to find themselves closer to the relegation zone.
They need to come up with a master stroke. They need to figure out a way to battle back in this one, because the table does not flatter them. That is the start times you get a Premier League table. Soltilo Bright Stars currently sitting in 10th place with about 24 points collected. But hot on their heels is Express with 22, UPDF with 21, and Busoga United on 19. So that should tell you there's a very slim margin. Just to put in context, Black's Power has 16 points, Soltilo Bright Stars has 24 points.
I can tell you that that's a very, very, very close margin. Like you said, it's 8 points, just a difference. Of course, you could say that Black Power would have to win 3 games to close out on Bright Stars. Probably they will not be thinking about the threat of relegation just yet, but they need to get points on the board. Otherwise, even where they are right now is just not good enough.
Katuka now taking over the free kick responsibilities, goes for the shot! Tipped away just in time by Crispas Kusima. That was clearly heading for the roof. That was a very difficult one to pull away. Beautiful technique from Nelson.
Yeah, that was great technique, lifting the ball over the wall. But maybe if he had played it on the left side of Crispas Kusima, you wonder whether he would have had the chance of getting to that ball.
Zaloki tries to adjust his bearings. The ball is put back into play. And Nodin Bunjo takes the shot, appeals for a handball. And the referee, very decisive, Lucky Kasarire Razake, clearly stipulates that it was no penalty there. Carrying on with play. Bright Stars, they need to find their spark, they need to switch on the light, they need to find a way to guide themselves back into this game. At the moment, they are lost at sea and stumbling in darkness.
Yeah, they need to actually get themselves really re-energized. They need to get the belief, they need to actually apply themselves. And what will be needed most importantly is the quickness of the flow of that ball. Try to beat your marker, and that needs a lot of quick movement on and off the ball. And that's something that you feel that has been lacking in this game by and large.
Seek and you shall find, ask and you will be given. And Gadaffi have been given. For Bright Stars, just not able to ask the right questions.
Yeah, that's true. And until that the second half, that's when they got their first shot on target.
Looks like Gadaffi looking to go about it again. Another shot. This is a little lackluster here from Alex Chitata. So clearly manages to do enough to get a goal. Something about the Bright, that is the Gadaffi shots. Having wrong numbers, wrong names. They do have a corner here that will be of little consequence to them. In this instance, as they have a chance now to try and get forward.
Confidence must be really boosted after that goal. You can see that they're going about their business with a lot of calmness. That's Gadaffi Football Club. Just rest assured that at least they have that goal.
Put in, evaded from the near post. Can they turn it into a quick counter-attack? Not on the watch of the captain, Bakar Magumba. Looks like the referee adjudges that he fouled. Goes to the ground and needs to be very careful not to be caught in simulation, otherwise he's already on a yellow card. The referee, Zake Kasarire Laki, just to hold play.
Oh,
actually clipped.
Yeah, he was
free kick for him.
Yeah, I can tell you that Lucky Kasarire missed this one because he was really clipped, I think it's around the Achilles heel, and that can be really painful.
Well, I do dare say sometimes if you cry wolf long enough, sometimes this might be one of those instances where Lucky Kasarire thinks it's just one of those misdemeanors of a notorious man on the shenanigans. This fan here of Soltilo Bright Stars seems to be totally lost at sea. And, well, it's exemplified by the fact that the flag is even upside down.
Yeah, you can see that he's just even not in the mood to try and cheer on his side. I don't know that even the one that is putting on the yellow and blue sandals there is also a fan of the team and probably the colors of the team.
Hands have been sufficiently chewed off.
And the assistant coach Tom Sally is also, you know, grinding at his teeth. I guess really wondering what they need to do to change this. But the team has really struggled to create chances, and that's always going to be a problem for you to.
Long ball forward. 67 minutes of the game played. We have little under 23 minutes to go. gets away. Nicely gone. Heavy impact here, and in the end, walking away victorious until eventually he's fouled here. Managed to get the ball. Ibrahim Kasinde turned out to be too aggressive. Could say quite aggressive, probably gassed up and really vehement in his challenge. Yeah, he has to calm down those stroked, amped up with all them hormones, or is it just an adrenaline rush right now, realizing that they have all to do about it and it's their backs to the wall?
Yeah, that's true. And I think Ibrahim Kasinde has put in the shift, but the thing is that creating chances is still something that he has not done well enough in this game, despite his shift of trying to close down spaces, trying to take the ball forward.
Aiming to clear the ball away, Kasinde, and now it comes down to Stephen Munguchi, who's not really had a lot to do in this game so far. Ball just goes over the line, and that's a throw in, set to come through. Taking his time here, before delivering this one. Gets it in. Battling for the ball. There's a free kick here awarded for Soltilo Bright Stars, or actually for Gadaffi Football Club. Soltilo Bright Stars, the fouling team.
They're getting too many, by the way. They seem to be desperate to get back possession, and in the process they're fouling. And you don't want to start bringing so many free kicks near your penalty area.
Chance for a free kick here, as looks like Asaf Mwebaze now will consider shuffling his pack as well. A couple of options in there. Looks like it's Samuel Senyonjo that's getting ready to come on. Free kick whipped in, goalkeeper punches away, and Gadaffi, for lack of a better word, cheated out of another opportunity to go forward by their own lack of clinicality. That was a brilliant opportunity to go ahead and press the issue. And now the substitution will be made. Sam Senyonjo coming in. It's the end of the game for Ashraf Mulindi. Yeah,
no surprises there. I think that Asaf Mwebaze now knows that he needs to bring out an offensive player, an out-and-out striker. And we know that Sam Senyonjo, formerly with KCC, a graduate of the KCC Academy, is a player that can score the goals. But all that will be needed is the service coming in from that midfield.
Nodin Bunjo looks to thread the ball forward. It's an opportunity here to try and squeeze it up front for a fast touch from Ibrahim Kasinde. And can the cross be of quality? Yes, it is. And so is the save.
Yeah, it was good delivery coming in from Odon Gift. Just that he probably played it so close to the goalkeeper. He needs to get his crosses onto the head of his teammates, as opposed to getting the crosses so close to the goalkeeper.
Let's play from Nodin Bunjo. They are faking his markers. Alex Mandela gets onto the ball. There's a late charge in there, and there's a foul. And the referee might not hesitate to brandish a card, but looks like it will only be a free kick. It's just a free kick there.
It seems like the Bright Stars had even lost the advantage here following that pass from Mandela. That's why the referee just brought the ball back.
Well, there's another substitution here, and Joel Madondo will have to wait for another day to spark his career back up here. He has to step off the pitch at the moment, though happily doing so, given the fact that his team is in the lead. In his place, Ronald Bethune steps on for the Soldier Boys.
I think we've not seen so much of Joe Madono in the second half, and he probably has run his socks off, and that's why he's been taken off.
Looking to capitalize. A bit of tagging in here. Bright Stars committing bodies forward now. Ibrahim Kasinde looks to chip the cross into the 18-yard box. Sonsenka took a lacking in the background here. Manuel Pitaloki looking to weave mischief in that midfield. At the moment, the ball just not settling down well enough for them. As Alex Chitata goes a whole 360 and finds the person to pass the ball to. Nice layoff from Stephen Munguchi. And this could be the opportunity. Alex Chitata making the cross here for the youngster. Just scored their first goal, Asiki, but it was a bit off the balance, off the target, off the mark.
Yeah, I think that pass was really heavy and so high. He needed to have calmed down and picked his spot better. That is Alex Chitata.
Kasinde Ibrahim, and the ball is eventually clean, for lack of a better word. Good attempt, you could say.
Yeah, good.
Attempt there from Samson Nyonjo, especially if it's his first attempt.
Yeah.
We just need to get his scopes recalibrated, and probably the next one would be on target.
And you can imagine the tight space within which he squeezed that shot. Not an easy one to execute, and probably that is a pointer at how incisive he can be once he's being served the ball in that penalty area.
There's a player on the ground here, and the medical team has been brought on. Question is, how serious can it be in that instance? And if I'm not mistaken, that would be Amir Kakomo. He already suffered some knocks earlier on. Yeah, there you go, Amir Kakomo, the midfielder. The man that is on the ground here and looks like an ice pack will have to be applied to the hamstrings there. Seems to be getting the signal, the all clear from the medical team, so looks like he might be good enough to continue in this one, but already had a couple of other players on the bench beginning to warm up. The man of the moment, Crispus Yosa Asiki, youngster thrown in as a substitute, and they did share an intimate moment with the coach there, giving him a hug and a peck on the head before he came on. And what a way to repay the coach's faith in him. Just minutes on, josted for the ball, waited for Alex Chitata with a beautiful cross, and how is that? Taken fast style, with style and splendor. Really plundering here for the Soldier Boys.
Yeah, it was good technique by this young man, Jonas Asiki. But I can tell you that when the Bright Stars go back and look back on this goal, they will definitely feel that they let themselves down. Yes.
Yassine Mugume is set to come in, and Ibrahim Kasinde will have to exit the game. What does this spell now for Bright Stars?
Well, I think bringing on Yassine Mugume, who is quite a good user of the ball, is comfortable on the ball. He can dribble past his men, but also deliver a good pass. All that will be important for the coach, as Samuel says, him really showing up and getting the job done, because one thing having the ability, but then it's another thing being able to do it, because sometimes players come in and the pressure just gets to them and they fail to really execute.
75 minutes quickly approaching. That would leave them down to the final 15 minutes. Bright Stars, it's one thing to contemplate in the game a 1-0 against them. It's also a whole other ball game when you put it into real perspective that they will be losing at home to Gadaffi. That's something, those are points they should be collecting.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look back at the way they finished the first round with that win over KCCA, so many people believe that maybe Bright Stars were going to have a good second round, and they started off quite well. Of course, that draw against Maroons 0-0 in Luzira, but then that was followed up with a win against Black's Power. But since then, it's after losing to UBDF, a game that you feel that they should also have easily won, considering the chances they created. It's been a downward spiral since then.
Odin Bunjo spraying it out here for Emmanuel Peter Loki, who's been kept under lock and key tonight. He's totally shackled and just can't break the chains to venture forward. Talk about total restrainment. Yeah. There's no way he's weaving any havoc today. Ball picked up here, Emmanuel Odong. Sorry, this is Gift Odong. Possession, tries to push the ball in. But it's quite well kept at bay by Yunus Sibirwa. Back to Odong. Can he pick a better pass this time? Picks out his captain, Nelson Sekatuka, tries to angle it in. Ball is averted. Oh, wayward performance there.
Yeah.
That was actually Alex Mandela. He still managed to retain possession. Now, this could be the undoing of Gadaffi. They are letting Bright Stars have a lot of the possession. They are allowing them to venture forward and looking to hit them on the counter-attack. But Bright Stars has a lot of tacticians on that pitch, tactically astute players that can pick a pass that can totally unlock any defense.
Yeah, of course they do. But I'm not surprised that for Washabosa, once his team has the lead and he knows that he's got a couple minutes to defend, and he will, in most cases, call them back to play on the break. And so it's not surprising at all. Although you may say that it's a bit suicidal going that way, but Bright Stars, I think from what we've seen, they've struggled a bit to unlock Gadaffi. So maybe it's the kind of chance that Washabosa is willing to take.
Set to the wing. Picked up here, Sadiq Sechembe. Whips in the cross. Goalkeeper ventures for that one, Hassan Matobu, and wins that race. 13 minutes on the clock. Now or never, do or die time for Bright Stars. they need to stand up to be counted.
Yeah, and they can't afford to keep feeling sorry for themselves. They need to put the shift in. They need to force the issue here. And that is a very important attitude to carry on going forward in the remaining minutes of this game.
Overcast skies, the sun quickly setting, not just on the horizon here in Kabumba, but also on the ambitions of Bright Stars. And a free kick. A lot of applause here, and Waswa Bosa is really happy with the shift that his youngster, Yosa Asiki Crispus, is putting in here.
That, of course, peeling off a few seconds on the clock by his hold-up play. And I'm sure Bosa will not mind that if he can continue holding the ball in the opponent's final third. As I'm sure that they're going to try and deploy a low block as Gadaffi and allow Bright Stars to be the ball. But the question will be, will come and open us up?
Support. Well looked, set back, crossed away. Now trying to thread a through pass for Alex Chitata. Was asking a little too much of legs that have run a full 78 minutes on this pitch.
Well, I'll tell you, Jermaine, that when you've lost your confidence, it's not very easy getting it back. All that it takes is probably one goal to give you the belief back, and that's what I guess that this Bright Stars side are hoping for, looking for some ingenuity.
Trying to cross the ball in. That's back header. Very, very unhappy Crispus Kusima. Not pleased with his defense. Quite the attempt there that was coming in from the charges of Asaf Mwebaze. Yasin Mugume shouldering off one challenge, crossing the ball in, meeting the head of Kaka Dennis Omon. So has a knack for showing up with really important goals, at least expected.
Yeah, that one was a good attempt by him, but didn't get enough punch on it with his head. And he needed to give it a lot more strength and to guide the ball past the goalkeeper, because, you know, from that kind of position, a header has got to be as strong as possible to beat the goalkeeper, but you could see that it was pretty light.
79 minutes. Bright Stars, Soltilo 0, Gadaffi Football Club 1. Star Times Uganda Premier League and Pilsner Lager is the official beer brand of the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Stand tall, stride on. Your time is now. End of the match, Pilsner will be awarding the man of the match. I have to say, this young man, Crispus Yosa, has put his name quite well in that hat. Arguably, he's done what nobody else has been able to do, and it's going to have a huge impact.
Well, it's just not even just about doing what everybody else has not done, but the most important thing, which is putting the ball in the back of the net.
Ball goes over the line. Ball inside to come through.
I'm running out 10 minutes for Bright Stars, and need to really get something going for them. Probably it's a time when a few more subs can be made, some fresh legs, fresh bodies, and to provide some more ingenuity and to try and hurry this Gadaffi side.
Picking up the ball, give to Dong, sends it out onto the wing. For the services of Yasin Mugume. Felt like he was nudged there by Sadiq Sechembe, but
I thought so too, by the way. But the assistant referee, I think, felt that the contact was not that hard to merit maybe a free kick to Yasin Mugume.
Well, he does award a free kick here against Gifto Dong, putting up an arm there against Stephen Munguchi. Dongo, and Gadaffi will now have bodies venture forward once again in search of what could turn out to be the killer blow. Long ball launched in, well hoisted, nicked away. Amir Kakomo picks up the ball, spreading it out onto the wing. Now floated in once again for the Soldier Boys, but only meet the formidable and stern head from Gideon. Gideon.
Well, I'll tell you, Jermaine, that for the Bright Stars defense, they've got to be kicking themselves, especially if this result remains the way it is. And they'll look back at that one moment of sleep where they just switched off and gave away a very easy goal.
Very, very grim, gloomy, and boot-faced people on the technical bench. Gadaffi once again bench a forward. It's not a place that they actually want to be. That bench of Soltilo Bright Stars right now, very wretched, very disheartened, quite depressed, and bleak in prospect.
Yeah, I guess it goes without saying, and it's difficult not to understand what they are going through. You know, when you're going through that kind of spell, and then again, where you felt that you probably would be winning, and you still make mistakes and cause yourselves harm, like Bright Stars just did there with just switching off for a moment. Then it leaves so many questions, and what you need to do, especially to get back.
Chance coming up here. Ball within, punched away. Now looking to launch the counter-attack. Emmanuel Peter Loki looking for Nelson Senkatuka as they try to break forward once again, but the ball is intercepted now. Quick reflexes managing to get the ball away. Play here coming in from Soltilo Bright Stars. For the moment, Gadaffi seem to have the mastery of the game. Seem to know exactly where they need to be, when they need to be. Nice touch from Gideon Etao. Spreading the ball out. They continue to favor trying to utilize that left flank. It hasn't yielded dividends. We might have to give big credit to John Biamukama, who keeps everything that tries to cross into his territory quite at bay.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job defensively today, especially, and I think that he's going to be one that is going to receive a tap on the back from his coach because of the kind of initiative that he has shown, but also his tenacity in stopping any kind of threat that Peter Loki would be posing.
Flick the ball back in there, but doesn't pan out. Alex Chitata, hold up play, extreme. He'll set the ball through. Looking for a neat flick forward. That's a bit of a hefty touch. Warren Bule will try to play it back to the goalkeeper here, Hassan Matovu. Matovu Hassan, sorry, finding Gideon Etao. 6 minutes on the clock. It's a race against time. And the demise in this game. It's one of those games where you begin to feel the body may be pronounced cold before it even hits the ground. Passing the ball out onto the wing.
Poor first touch by Gift Odong again. Good pass coming in from his teammate there, Bunzo. But his poor first touch just lets the ball go to the opponent.
Now the long ball from Gideon Etao just going to the goalkeeper. Crispus Kusima takes a moment to go to the ground. Looks like he might want to take a minute there to play around and feign an injury, but thinks the better of it. It looks like there's another substitution set to come through here for both teams, actually, because initially it was Gadaffi, but looks like Bright Stars will also take a double roll of the die and hope that, well, it can catch flash and land something in here for them. At the moment they're fishing, and at the moment not quite catching anything. Question is, as Asaf Mwelaze followed the words of Christ and has been told to cast his net onto the other side.
Well, I think that he'll have to try out all the options and not just restrict himself to just one set of play. Because they need to find a goal, at least a draw. If they can't get a goal, then it probably will give them that belief that, you know what, now we're able to get a goal, we're able to get a draw, that maybe the decline has been thwarted, and they look forward to their next game.
Ball played back here to the goalkeeper, Hassan Matovu. Sends it into the sphere of influence of Gift Odongo. Passes it forward. Yasin Mugume now finding Nodin Bunjo. Bunjo once again picking out Mugume. Can he make the right move? Yes, he does for the first one. The second one is shut down. Dixon Chembe doing brilliantly well there. And that should be a corner. Substitution. Elvis Ngonde to get onto the pitch for the final 4 minutes of the game. To exit the pitch, Simon Zerukuma is already off. Make an interesting prospect.
Well, I think that
Looks like Alex Chitata is the man that comes off there, and Nodin Bunjo is the man that comes off the shot number 10. Comes off in his place. Comes shot number 13. Gentleman by the names of Amis Muwonge. We also have another substitution here. That's Jafari Kaziro that comes in. Confirmation on which player stepped out as the ball just goes off the line here for another goal kick here at the end.
That's Bugembe, who's also been introduced here by Asaf Mwebas. I think he's decided to go for the kill here, hoping that maybe that new renewed energy can give them some a lot more firepower, because Bugembe is a player that normally plays in midfield but has got the versatility to play both attacking and defensive midfield.
Yago Amis Muwonge Bugembe. The ball in here, looking to carry the ball up front. 2 minutes left to play. Player goes down. Free kick award.
Time running out for Bright Stars. And I think that the last 5 minutes have probably been one of their better showings in this game, particularly at that point where Nodin Bunjo had the ball at his feet.
Free kick right here for Soltilo Bright Stars. Final few moments and all bodies going forward in hand of that elusive equalizer. Pulling to the ground. Also, Katuka seems to be appealing there to the assistant referee that he was fouled. And play does continue as the officials cite nothing in there. Warren Bude tries to stretch it forward and now giving it away just as Munguchi receives the return ball. Looking to counter-attack now, facing forward. This is good play coming in from Ronald Bethum. Bethum didn't quite get the touch that he wanted on that pass, but he still managed to retain possession. Ronald Bethum. Very fancy little flicks and touches here. Talk about Gadaffi Football Club trying to put the embellishment on this victory.
They'll be happy about this result as it stands, and if they can hold out and get all the 3 points, I'm sure they'll travel back to Jinja feeling a real sense of accomplishment and a good Easter gift.
Long up front, trying to control in a myriad of players, and Nelson Senkatuka continues to trudge forward, endure forward, just struggle his way through. Somehow hope that things will land well enough for him.
Yeah, you can see the persistence, the fight that he shows there. Nelson Senkatuka trying to lead by example to try and see that he forces the issue.
Tudong is a terrible, dreadful cross in there. One that should not be coming at this particular point in time. Talk about point in time, 10 seconds away from the 90th minute. It's the Star Times Uganda Premier League right here on the new home exclusively. The Star Times Uganda Premier League, where the race is on. Sanyuka Prime. And it's all brought to you by MTN, the official broadcast sponsors. 90th minute, Bright Stars Soltilo 0, Gadaffi Football Club 1.
What a story it will be as we wait to see how many minutes have been added on by assistant referee. Oh yeah, that's already flashed there.
Well, it is there from the fourth official at high rejoice, signaling not less than 4 minutes to be played. Can Bright Stars conjure up a miracle? Can they figure out a way not to be the other one that is nailed to the cross today?
Well, we've just got say 3.5 minutes left on the clock, and if you look at the kind of deliveries that are coming in from Odong and his teammates, they've just not been good enough.
The moment you get the sense of feeling that Asaf Mwebase will feel like his players have decided to allow Barnabas to go. Let Jesus be nailed to the cross. Would they give away that momentary lapse in concentration?
Yeah, that was quite a stinker if you ask me. It was an easy goal for Gadaffi.
Moving on, Yasin Mugume. Make another cross. Technique that consistently is attempted to be utilized by Bright Stars. They've been unable to go through the middle. They've been trying to get those crosses out on the wing, but still, it's not yielded dividends for them.
Yeah, it's really been a struggle. Creating chances has really been a big problem for them. And I'm sure that when they return to the training ground on Sunday or Monday, this is going to be something that they're going to try and concentrate on.
Looking to pass this one forward. Copy that. Hopefully set to come through. Just about 2 minutes. Looking to make this one go forward. Yes, sir. Passing on. Nice turn here coming in from Bright Stars. And now looking to cross the ball in. Clearance. Gucci. And that was impeded by an arm there. Or maybe I might have gotten my sights wrong. As Gucci tries to get the ball once again, and the assistant referee deems that he went a little early. Ziwa Charles Edwards pointing out that Gucci, they are fouling Bright Stars. How much time do they require to find a way to dig themselves out of this mess?
Yeah, they only have 1.5 minutes or so to get back in this game, or to actually continue to leave. Otherwise, it seems like they are dead and buried. That is Bright Stars, and now, as it stands, just 1 more minute and a few seconds.
Well, it looks like this young man, Crispus Yosa Asiki, has been fouled and brought to the ground by Eto'o, and will take a couple of minutes here before he might get back to the ground. So he actually ran his face onto the grass there. That's the reason why he stays down. But his job has been well done, and his goal puts Gadaffi up there right over Soltilo Bright Stars with little under 40 seconds to go. Asaf Mwebaze, the question whether to move forward and focus on the next match, or to sit here stuck in time and try to figure out where this went wrong, is a real conundrum and a huge debate. The technical team, the fire is literally gone from this one. The fight is gone past them. And for the fans that come through to watch this game, there's nothing good about this Friday. Going. Coming up, we have arrived at the 4th minute of the 4 added on. So right now at the definitely at the referee's mercy. Soltilo Bright Stars, looks like they also do realize this fight is gone from them. Final whistle from the referee, Lucky Kasadire, and it brings celebrations here for the Soldier Boys. Asiki Crispus Yosa makes his introduction to the big stage in a big way. The way of the cross is a painful reminder, a tradition in Christianity. For the wages of sin are death, and that's what Christ paid. For Soltilo Bright Stars, well, his sacrifice was not enough, and they look like they will require something bigger to be made to appease whatever is holding them back. In a game where they could feel they must have had the advantage in this one, it still inevitably goes the way that they dreaded it would, and they will go back to the dressing rooms pointless, with heads bone down, and wondering what it will take to fix this one. Full time at the Kavumba Recreational Grounds. It's Soltilo Bright Stars 0, Gadaffi Football Club 1.
Well, the bad run for Bright Stars continues this evening here at the Kavumba Recreation Ground, their home ground, and I can tell you